Visit Elias Restaurant, a unique Greek Caribbean fusion restaurant where the food is heavenly, the service divine, and the ambience mesmerizing. Enjoy bakes and saltfish, roti, jerk chicken, curry chicken, stew fish, oxtail, curry goat, stew turkey, pea soup, comfort soup, sorrel beer, ginger beer, Slovaki dinners, clubhouse sandwiches, and so much more. Visit Elias Restaurant, located at 3310 Keele Street in Toronto, Canada.
Hello and welcome to Caribbean House Talk. And Caribbean House Talk, we always cover the issues from funny to curious and even tearfully serious. And today's Caribbean House Talk, we have our regular team with us, and we are about to dive into the Spicy Dish segment of our show. And Spicy Dish, if you're a regular viewer, you know that the topics on Spicy Dish can be somewhat provocative, a little sexy, and may not be appropriate for young audiences. So if you have children in the room, you need to have those children leave the room. And then they can join you later when we have the Day Help team and other more serious discussions. Okay? So, hi ladies.
Hi.
Okay. Are you guys ready to roll?
Yes.
As we often say, into a spicy pond.
Yes.
Okay, so we always start with a Spicy Dish section, which, you know, it's just topics that we pick out. Sometimes I'm listening to TV, listen to the radio, or something just flashed into my mind, and I said, wait a minute, I want us to discuss that. Or one of these ladies will say, what about if we discuss such and such? You know, I'll tell them what I have, they'll tell me if to add something, and we just put them on little pieces of paper, pop them in, and pick it out, and start discussing it. All right?
Okay.
So let's roll. So we're going to start out with the toil master, Miss Caroline Davis. And we're going to ask you to pick out our first
Okay.
Spicy
Here
Dish
we go.
topic. Okay. What say you?
All right. Would you date someone with 6 kids by 6 different women?
Hell no.
No. To the no.
To the no.
To the no.
I was in Canada the other day at my brother's. I had a death in my family, and I went up to support my brother. And there was a gentleman there who I know, quite a handsome gentleman and a nice person. And he started teasing my kids, oh, I'm going to be your next stepfather, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they thought it was funny. And he came upstairs and he was chatting with me and, you know, kind of make a little bit of move on me. And then I said, well, you're not married, are you? He said, no. I said, you have kids? Yeah, I got 6. I said, so you've never been married? This is what I'm saying, how you could dig into things in a covert way. But you have 6 kids. How many baby mamas? 6. But, no but.
Stop with it.
You don't even have a right to look at me. You know what I mean? You don't even have a right to look at me. You have 6 children. You're not disciplined enough. Now, maybe you have changed because you're now older. Because he's like somebody maybe my age or maybe in the 60s. So maybe you have learned some lessons along the way. But you can't mess your life up like that and think that you should be looking at somebody who's got their stuff together.
Don't.
No,
That's a red flag.
I was like, that is not. I said, that's not. Oh, he started trying to justify it. I said, listen, I'm not judging you. You made your kids. I wouldn't want anybody judging me with my children. But I said, I made sure that when I had my children, I got married. I had my children. It didn't work out. I moved. But for me to go having 6 babies by 6 different men and to think any man would find that attractive, it's insulting. So I don't feel like you should have 6 baby mama and come and looking at somebody like me. And I say that not meaning I'm better than him. I'm saying somebody who has not lived that kind of lifestyle, you know. And that's an absolute no for me. Turn off.
That's a big
Instant
red
turn
flag.
off.
Red flag. It's so red, it's blinding.
So
And
really,
you're
it's not so much the 6 kids. It's like a bunch of kids with
A bunch of
different
women. Yes. Because had he been married and had 6 kids,
That's a
I
different
wouldn't
story.
care. Especially if they're grown, I wouldn't care. Maybe he was married twice and he has 3 kids and 3 or 2. Yeah, that's different. But you're talking about a man who never was disciplined enough to get married and has 6 children with 6 different women.
So is he looking for a caretaker?
Yeah.
Somebody to take care of him now.
I wonder if he's circumcised.
That was the last show.
You know, that was the last show. But
Yeah, Yeah, but
He
maybe
was
that's the
from
reason
he was
he's
from
not
my
married.
country. He was from my country. He was somebody older than me.
Is he?
I doubt very much that he would have been circumcised. But to me, again, the circumcision thing, which we had on another show, it's not about, oh, you're not going to sleep with somebody because you're circumcised, because I've slept with many circumcised men. Well, a few.
Okay.
Many
Better
is
clear
always
that
coming. So many is many. Okay, it is what it is.
No. Believe it or not, I have not had. I still have fingers left over with my partners, but
Okay.
and including husbands. I still have some fingers left over.
A lot.
But quite a bit of fingers. A few
fingers are left
fingers.
over.
I've dated and I've been married twice, long-term marriages.
Exactly.
And no, but I dated other guys, and yeah, most of them were not circumcised. And like I said, I'm a paranoid freak, which I would have to make sure the instrument is clean.
Which is on.
Anyway, let's not get into that. That's from last year. So let's get into the 6 kids by 6 baby mama. No, that was a torn alphabet, and he was a handsome guy and a wonderful, charming personality. But I could not go there. I could not. But as soon as his mouth opened and that came out, I was like, always with a smile. He's a very nice guy. No,
That's your flat line right there.
it's my color. Don't even. I almost felt offended. Like, why would you think that?
Yeah.
I think some people might find that stuck up. I'm not anybody who know me. I'm a very friendly
Yeah.
person. But just certain men, I don't think have a right to look at me that way.
You're
Like,
right.
you don't have your crap together, don't look at me that way. Because I'm not trying to put somebody in my life who don't have their shit together. You got 6 kids by 6 baby mama. I don't care that they're grown. You're showing me that you have no discipline.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not attracted to that. I'm not going to go there.
No
No.
commitment. That's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
So for me, it's an absolute no.
Me too.
No.
She didn't
Don't
mince
even
any
go.
words. She said no.
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 Mm-mm. No, that's not just not
I don't
attractive.
think. You know.
Not attractive at all. Not attractive. All right, so I would do the honors with the next spicy dish topic. Let's see what we have here. Would you allow someone to take out a life insurance policy
Oh,
on
no.
No.
a spouse, a relative, a business partner? Because the insurance policies are business partners as well. You have a business together. If one died, the other one wants to make sure things continue.
Yeah.
So
I'll take a risk with the spouse, but not anyone outside. You know, you can take a risk with your spouse.
I think I would only do that if I have children by him, and here's why.
Yeah.
If I have children, I want to think if something happened to me that he has what assistance he needs to take care of that child,
Take care of the
and he
child,
should think
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
I think when there are no children, I would have to know you pretty good to be comfortable with that. I've seen too many stories. Maybe I'm watching too much of those shows on own with the
I will
people
allow.
knocking each other off.
There's two people that I would allow that, because that would mean that they would take care of my son. That would be my mother and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because,
So
you know,
so
it's
yes,
just-
but it depends on who.
Yeah, it's a need.
Mhm.
It's a need, I feel, and
Mhm.
I just want them to have the resources to take care of him the best way.
Mm-hmm. You're pretty quiet down that end.
No, I don't. No, I mean, you wouldn't allow anybody, a stranger, to take out an insurance policy on you. But how do you actually know? Because it's not like
No,
they
you,
need your approval, right?
yes, they do. I
They
don't
do?
think you
Yeah.
just go in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
be insuring
I
everybody.
mean, I don't know.
They have to. Yeah, they have to.
Mhm.
You would know.
Oh, that would be a bed of
They can't just
problems
make
with
like
that. No.
Yeah.
Imagine people just see you and say, I'm going to take a life insurance policy
No,
and knock her
no,
off,
no,
and
no.
that's it. No. You have to be involved somewhere. You have to be signing stuff and support. And
I mean,
taking medical
I
things.
feel like you don't. I don't agree with that. To take an insurance policy. I guess if they taken it out in the name of a business and they tell you, then you would know about it. But otherwise, I don't
Trust me,
think-
I've had several, and I know what I'm saying.
Mm.
There's a
Oh,
nurse.
okay.
There's a nurse that would come and take, because first of all, they're going to make sure
They
you're
need
not
your
dying.
health. They
They-
need
right,
health
they're not.
information.
You're not dying and trying to get a
Okay.
policy.
Got you.
Right, so they will have to come to, and that way the person
That's
would know. You know, and you did the documents that you're signing. The insurance companies aren't stupid enough to put themselves out there where you're just taking on policies on people and then they have to pay out. Remember, you're paying that insurance policy. They're not exactly delighted that you'll just be collecting easily, you know, because it leaves room for a lot of fraud there. So no, you will be aware. It would not be something that's the only one I don't know that they are so strict about is when you have, like, let's say you have an elderly parent and you just want to make sure you have enough burial fund for them.
And that's
You have like a
different.
separate little policy, just enough to bury them. You know, maybe $10,000 or something like that.
I would think if they're going to be strict, they'd be strict about that too.
They may be
Because
strict,
maybe
but,
they'll think you're trying to kill off the parent.
but how many people are gonna kill
yeah.
their parents for $10,000? You know what I mean?
You'd be surprised. People kill
Well,
their parents for
I'm
less. I
not
don't
saying
know.
no, but I'm saying
I have
that
no
that I
idea.
don't think that they are strict with, because this is a small fund just for burial, and usually as soon as there's a burial, that funeral home locks that, so you're not getting that. So that I would not see room there for fraud. At least
It
not
will go
much.
toward the expenses.
Right.
You have
So,
to
so in
spend
other words,
that
when
money
you
anyway.
when you have a person who's dead and you go to a funeral home, the first thing the funeral home do is see what policies you have out there, and they do whatever they do. That burial fund is
Yeah.
locked, so you can't touch that part of it. So yeah, it's not you just insure somebody. That would be your spouse, your business partner, family member. Maybe you might even have some other entities that would do it, but it wouldn't be anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope not. My goodness.
So if they're not, if it's a spouse, let's say, would you be okay with that?
If my spouse takes out an insurance policy,
Mhm.
but I would have to be notified. You just said
Right.
that I would know about it.
Right. So I'm asking you, would you be okay with that?
I have an insurance policy.
Okay, so you're okay with that?
I have one. He has one. This is,
Mhm.
you know, I have to bury him if something happens.
Mhm.
He has to bury me if something happens.
Okay.
Well, you
I'd
have to
have a
continue
problem with a
living.
secret thing, but
Mhm.
you know, of course, we have to have insurance policies.
Mhm. Well, you don't have to, but it's a good idea.
Unless
especially
you
when
have
you-
money,
Well, I mean, if he
everyone
takes
should
it
have
out,
an insurance
I would be
policy.
suspicious if he's going to go take it out for $5 million.
Right.
I
The
would
quantity of it.
always be monitoring
Yeah.
him.
The quantity of
You
it
know,
would
because
bother
And
me.
that's
people
the
get
secret kind of
tempted.
thing where you don't know the details of it. You know, like when we did insurance, of course we had a child when we took it out, our first daughter. We took insurance on her. We took insurance on each other. You know, both of us have insurance
Right.
because if anything happens, you want to make sure that you know you could take care of kids, bills are paid. We could pay for funeral expenses. You know, but yeah, a secret. If you're taking a $5 million, I would ask, like, what the heck are you taking
Taking
$5
that
million
for?
out on me?
Yeah, I would want to monitor that,
Mhm.
you know, because people get tempted. Money tempts you.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know how I would feel if I took an
Wait a minute,
insurance
but don't you?
policy of $5 million.
Well,
All right.
Irma, don't
Hey.
you guys have insurance,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have
That's
insurance.
just a common stuff when you're married,
Yeah.
especially when you have children. You have somebody with
Yeah,
children.
natural.
And you're not going to cancel the minute the children are grown, but at least that would be most of the time the reason behind having the policy. That I have children, like with both of my exes, we had a policy. Now what happened is, when the marriage broke up, I still had the policy for a little while because it was more like he was a writer on the policy. So if something happened to him, I get something to make sure my daughter is okay.
Right.
And then the main policy was mine. I kept that on for a while. I guess just not thinking it was something that was coming out automatically. And then at one point it dawned on me, since I've been remarried, I don't need a policy for him, with him as a writer. And my daughter was grown. And I think at some point, even though I thought about it, I thought, I don't know what kind of life he's living. Maybe if something happened to him, my daughter would have to bury him, and I don't know if she'll be, you know. But after a while, I said, that's not my business.
Yeah.
I'm not married to you. My daughter is grown. I cancel that policy. The second one, we had a child. And for the child's sake, I felt if something happened to me, I would want to make sure that he's okay. And then, of course, divorce came, and then you're like, okay, I don't know if I want you benefited from me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But and I would expect that person would take the same. I don't have a problem. I'm not married to you.
Right. Exactly.
You don't need to. If you want to leave something for your son and put it when he's of an age where he could get it and take care of it himself, I don't necessarily want.
Yeah. It's a no for all of us, I think.
It depends on the circumstances.
It depends on the circumstance.
You're married, you have kids, there would be a justifiable reason. You're talking humongous insurance policies. I would have a big question. I don't care how much I'm in love with you. Well, I don't hear it from you.
I
You
did.
did? Okay.
Yes, I said
You
that
said
I
with
would
your-
allow my mother,
your mother,
and
yes,
my
you did.
brother
Mm-hmm.
because they would take care of my son.
Mhm.
So they said,
Yeah.
since I'm not married at the moment, they will. Be
I think
the
I was
one
more
to
thinking the
take care.
spouse. Even I didn't say it. I was more thinking the spouse type of thing, or even business partners,
Yeah,
because people do
business
that.
partners, I would sort of be wary of. Because I've seen in the news a lot that happens
Mhm.
where somebody gets charged insurance fraud
Mhm.
for their partner.
Mhm.
So you know you have
I
to,
must be watching too much OWN TV because there's a segment on OWN TV, on OWN network,
Yeah.
where they have those kind of shows, and maybe I'm just naturally a little paranoid type. So I just like,
yeah,
but
it does
it
happen.
depends. Like I said, my kids, I'm not planning to get married again. The most I would, I've been doing is dates this if I feel like it. So I'm dating you, have a right to have a policy on me. My kids, I provide for them on my own in terms of if something happens.
Yeah,
I don't need anybody having a policy on me.
yeah.
You know?
I agree.
All right.
Yes, Miss Hyacinth, your turn.
Okay, let me put my glasses on and see what's in here for me. Okay, would you allow your ex to drop by unannounced?
Would you allow your ex to drop by unannounced? You just drop in by, maybe you want to see his kid, maybe you want to ask you a
No.
question.
No, I think that's
No.
disrespect.
So elaborate though.
That's disrespect.
No, well, Miss Hyacinth just said
So
it's
it is
disrespect. They wouldn't want you dropping in on them. And I don't even care if they wanted it and they allowed it. No, there's a certain thing of privacy. You no longer live here. This is not your home. When you want to come, all you have to do is pick up the phone and you call and you talk to me. You don't just pop in anytime you feel like it.
He will have to call me.
Call you.
There's so many text, phone call. There's so many ways to
Exactly.
communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right. So with me, I do have a problem with it. I had a situation where an ex decided to drop by to discuss our child unannounced, and I heard the child said, "Mommy, Daddy's downstairs, want to talk to you." And I came down and I composed myself. We discussed what it was. It was something about the child's school, and I kept it really civilized. I didn't say anything, but I did feel really pissed off, that he would feel comfortable dropping by like that. Now, okay, there's no man living here, but if there was a man, what do you think he was going to say if you just dropped by? I wouldn't do that with him. With him, I would have no need to go to his house. I'll pick up the phone and talk to you. You don't have to come to my house.
Maybe he wanted to see you.
No. Trust me, we are not.
No,
Trust
no.
me, we are past anything like that. But I did not appreciate that. I just let him know, after, not in front of the child, but I let him know if we got to discuss and it's not something about a child and it's a case where you think we have to put him to sit down to talk to him. Because it was something about school and we wanted to kind of get this child's head on the shoulder. And you could at least let me know and I will tell you if and when it is okay. Okay, first of all, I don't like no man, no ex, nothing up in my house once I'm done with you. The most you should be doing as far as my house is come to the curb and get your child. You don't need to be in my house, But let's say that there was something going on. Thank God, thank you. I've had really good kids so far. Let's say there was something going on that you feel that you need to talk to the child. The two of us need to talk to this child. That's something you set up. You don't have a right to come into my home unannounced and somebody's calling me downstairs because you're downstairs unannounced.
Or an emergency situation, and they had to come by. That's something
That's
different.
different.
But most cases,
Right.
announce yourself.
Right. And I didn't really particularly care for that. And I put a stop to that. I was like, you know what? You can call, and if it's not something you think we should discuss on the phone, we need to do in person, we can make arrangement for you to come. But I don't want this showing up here to talk to
As you please.
And
No.
at the time, because I have a friend, while she was divorced, and the man would come, pick up the kid or whatever, or they meet him or whatever, she never knew where he lived. So my thing is, I don't even know where you live, but
And I don't
you think
care.
you could come
yeah.
in, and you don't care, and you think you could come to my house? No,
Mm-hmm.
you can't come unannounced. You have to
And
announce.
this is somebody who live one place.
Mhm.
Let me add this piece in here. But give another address, because he used a cousin's address for mailing address. So you don't truly know where he lived. That's a cover, in my opinion, to kind of, when you don't really have a stable thing. He later, got that together. But what make you think you could come in my place and unannounced? I was
right.
really a little PO'd. Like, you just show up here like that? And it was night. So if there was a mister in the house, that mister might have been upstairs. If he had sleepover privileges. You don't have a right to do that. I don't do that to you. I don't know where you live. I don't care where you live. The only reason I might care where you live, my son never really had, he never had overnights. And that's starting now.
Right.
Because his dad got a house and he wants him to spend some time with him. And we've never gone through, been strict with no code, this or that. I mean, there was something on the paper, but we've always kept it where, I'm not doing anything with him, you want him. And now he's got a place and he wants him sometimes to come over. So I said, at that point I said, I need to know your address if you're going to be having my child. But am I going to show up at his house? Unannounced or unannounced, I don't want to go to your house. I don't want to show up and discuss anything at your house. I barely talk to the person. I usually text this person to say such and such and such. I don't want you showing up at my house.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our Dear Health Team section of the show, so we'll be right back.
Visit Elias Restaurant, a unique Greek Caribbean fusion restaurant where the food is heavenly, the service divine, and the ambience mesmerizing. Enjoy bakes and saltfish, roti, jerk chicken, curry chicken, stew chicken, stew fish, oxtail, curry goat, stew turkey, pea soup, cowfoot soup, sour beer, ginger beer, Slovaki dinners, clubhouse sandwiches, and so much more. Visit Elias Restaurant, located at 3310 King Street in Toronto, Canada.
I'm Trish,
I'm a mountain.
I'm Irma.
And I'm Caroline.
and we are the Caribbean House Talk. So welcome back to Caribbean House Talk. And we're now about to do our Dear Help Team section of the show. And the Dear Help Team section is usually not the spicy topics we have on Spicy Dish. This is more serious educational stuff. Or not necessarily educational, but a little bit more serious topics. Something that's being discussed out there and people might just want to have us weigh in on it. You can always write to us at contact us at qxtv.com. Okay, and if you have any suggestions or topics you want us to discuss, that we'd be happy to discuss them. If we discuss your topic, we will send you a little gift. We'll surprise you with a gift. All right, so today's topic is something that came up. I heard this phrase. Should black folks in power talk black but sleep white? In other words, you're a community leader, you're a politician, you're somebody who's in leadership, in a leadership role, you're in the black community, out there to the forefront, but your spouse is white. It's something that a lot of people speak about behind closed doors, but we never speak about put it on the table and in the open. So, do you think that people in powerful positions, leadership roles, who are black, should talk black and sleep white? In other words, should it be all about black and how proud they are and I'm a leader in the community, but then when it's time to wife or husband someone, it's in another community?
That's tricky because love is blind, as I always believe that. I believe that truly, because sometimes you're in it, you don't see what's going on around you because you in there. That's your circle, that's your environment. But people from the outside looking in and they seeing something else. But you're deeply in love and you're just seeing what you want to see. But I think talking black and sleeping white, it's a personal preference. These guys gotta know, or women gotta know, or know what they want, and be conscious of the spots where they go to find love. And if they find it in a black spot or in a white spot, it's their circle, it's their life. That's where they're comfortable. And I don't think that we should say, because you're in power, you're in a certain class now, you're gonna go white because that's where the thing is. But there's some white people who really, not as out there as the black women, because there's some powerful black women out there, and these women sometimes they themselves in their power could intimidate you in such a way that you being in power and they being in power, that two powers start clashing and it's issues. But there's some white women, I would say, that I know personally, in as much as they are who they are, they're very meek in a way that these men think
Is
they
that
can
a myth, though?
control them. I don't know. They think they can control them, and then when they have certain powers, they use that influence to keep them at bay. But sometimes they can try that with the black woman.
You think
That's
it's a
my
cop out? You think
yeah.
in some
I
cases?
really feel that way. But then it can go the other way. So it all depends on where you find love and who you really want.
Because it's both sides. You have a
It
lot
go
of powerful
both
black
ways.
women who are married to white males.
Yes, very
So-
powerful.
I mean, like you said, the heart feels what it
Yes.
feels, and so you can't tell somebody to split it along racial line. I particularly, me personally, as far as what I'm just naturally attracted to, it is a black man. Okay, that's just me personally. I wouldn't be offended if somebody's not attracted to a black male, because then we have other factors that are playing into this. Like you have a lot of high incarceration rate rather. You have a lot of high incarceration rate among our men, and you have other factors. You may have men who are not, women are not their thing, or they're not equally yoked, or they're under yoked, if you will, financially. So you have a man who he's not making much more than you. You don't want to become somebody's ATM. You have men who are incarcerated. I don't want somebody who has been incarcerated. I have a criminal record. I clearly a man who's gay would not have interest in me. So maybe I'm in that age range where maybe the person that I will find who care for me and love me is somebody of another race. But if I want to be honest and say, who am I attracted to as a black woman, is a black male, because that is what I know, that is what I'm comfortable with. I will say that there are a lot of black folks who feel that if a male or female is in a leadership role and they're so pro-black, they're so into promoting the culture and being a leader of the culture, that it does look a little odd when they see them with a white spouse, because how come you're so proud of your race, but when it's time to pick there could be reasons for it, but when it's time to pick a spouse, you don't go within that race to pick a spouse. That should have been natural. That's what most people feel. They wouldn't say it in public, but that's how they feel. Like, if you're gonna talk black, sleep black, and that's not always cut and dry, you know what I mean? But it does really piss a lot of people off when they see that. Like, you're black, you claim you're such a proud black leader, but it's time to go get a wife. There you are with something else on your arm.
But then suppose he can't find he doesn't have that connect in the black world when it comes to women.
Well,
Because there are times too when the black woman could be intimidating to a powerful man, because he gonna figure this one I can't control, this one, because black women are easy to control. Some of them,
we're kind of tough. But here's
yeah,
the thing.
because
Here's
we're
the thing.
independent. We were raised independently.
And another
Regardless.
factor that we're overlooking, a lot of time, that for instance, you see the basketball player, the sports personalities,
I see that.
who are raised black, got a black mother, black father, had black girlfriends all his life, and then he gets into sports or something big happen, and there he is with a white girl. And a lot of people have a problem with that, because they're saying, well, you didn't have the white taste till you get famous, and all of a sudden you decide to switch the fence here and become somebody's ATM. But I think something we're missing, something that's happening behind the scenes. Now you are a sports entity. Now you're famous. You're exposed to a whole other world. You're coming in contact with people you would normally not have come in contact with.
And sometimes
And sometimes-
they're targeted too.
Right, and sometimes these ladies, both on both sides of the fence, they would know how to play the game to
Yeah.
get this man.
They know exactly what to do.
You know, and so that's the part I think a lot of time we don't see. It's not like this man is saying I don't like black women anymore, and it's just that's the circle he's in. And sometimes a man like that is going to be desirable, and
Yeah.
people are going to go after him very
And then
hard.
what they want, they just waiting. Some of them just waiting on the sideline to just pounce on these guys, and they now get fame get to their head, money get into their head, they get stupid, and before they know it, they're married.
And you said something
So-
before with meat. There's this whole myth
Yeah.
out there that black women are more strong. We are strong
no,
because
we're
we
strong-minded
we're usually put in positions where we have to be mother and father, or have to take the reins. But and then you're saying that there's this
Control.
perception out there that the white woman is more meek. Well, one of the things I would say that woman ain't. I think that's a myth, by the way. But that woman, if that is the reason that a lot of black men do go that route, that woman, when she goes to divorce in front of a white judge, she ain't meek that time.
Oh no.
Trust me on that one.
Oh no.
She's not
They
meek
know
that
what
time.
they want. They know
That's where
they-
stereotypes get a little dangerous.
They know
But
their
know.
game.
sometimes you hear the black man. Well, I've heard that the white woman will do what a black woman won't do. I don't know what it is, but there are certain facets of that they look for. Whatever
Yeah.
the white woman would do for them, that the black woman would do, and we are more controlling. I've heard that. We're a little bit more controlling, and
Because we know what we
And,
want, and we want what we want.
yeah.
And sometimes we hardly take no for an answer. And most of the times you're going to find a black woman going to want to make her own money regardless to how much you're making. She still want to make something on the side. Even if she have to use your money to go and start a business, to do something for herself. That's what most black women who find themselves in circles like that, they do. Because they want to have their own something. But on the other hand, the other race might not want to do that. She might just want to stay back, go to the spa, do the nails, do the thing, and it's like, okay, and then you feel now you're providing, you'll walk into you can make your wife happy, and you can do this and you can do
But
that.
anytime you're doing that, you're giving up your control, though. That's supposed to
Yeah.
can control
They
you now
don't care
because they're
as
paying.
long as they're getting what they want. They don't care. They don't care. So it
Some
goes
quietness
both
over
ways.
this side.
It goes both ways. It just.
I
it
mean,
all
I
depends.
have often wondered though, in my mind, when a black man marries to a white woman, and they have kids, and they decide to divorce, because I know I can't remember the name right now, but I know one said, and I'm saying, I wonder if he has to pay more for child support and all that stuff, because they do take them to the courts, and they do get what they
They get
want.
what they want.
And the judge is white usually.
And these guys, there's a black guy he's an African, I think, married to Edie. Is it Edie? She's on, not The Voice, one of those shows. She's a fashion person. Really?
What are you talking about?
He's a singer. Really nice.
Iman.
Not Iman, no, not Iman.
She
is
was married
a
to
Bowie?
white
Bowie,
man.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying, now that I'm looking at him from personal point of view, I
See a
say
black guy?
he's a black guy. He's from Africa and he sings.
Or
Seal.
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 And I mean, they have been on my mind a lot, because I'm saying, I think they have 2 or 3 kids together, and she's high maintenance,
Yeah.
But this
And
divorce,
I
right?
they have been
I
divorced
notice
for a long
every
time.
program,
Heidi Klum.
especially now. I watch PBS a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and these singers come on, have their different programs. But I see him a lot on these, and I'm saying he probably has to be working so much harder
But
in
Heidi
order to
Klum got his
maintain
own money, her
her
own money though.
lifestyle.
But she's
But
not her own money. She's
She
an
has her
accomplished
own money,
model.
but they get what they want. I mean, this guy has to. When you have 3 kids, with a woman, you have to shell out that money for whatever, you know, each month. And I've seen him on so many programs now because he used to tour
He
a
has
lot.
to work.
And he was working much harder. I'm saying,
Well, they have kids.
wow,
But I
that's
still-
not my son.
I still think with Seal, like, let's be honest, a lot of black women wouldn't probably even be attracted to Seal. No, no
Well,
offense.
he's not really an attractive looking man
Right.
because of the things in his face, I guess. But, I mean,
Mhm.
he's quite a person. He has
But he has a sexy
a
personality.
attitude,
Right.
you know, and all
But
that.
a lot of black women, they would diss him and say he,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But he has a very attractive personality. He has charisma.
Very good
And I
comment.
think in his case, he at least was with someone was married to someone who had her own fame. So she's an accomplished model. She's not someone who's penniless. So she's not having to wait on just his money.
No.
But I think what you see a lot when you
But
see
they
that
are
sort of
held
thing, it's
accountable.
usually a wealthy black man with a woman who nobody ever heard of, and then there we
But
go.
they hold them accountable, though.
Mm-hmm.
They got to fork up that money, you know, quite a bit
Mhm.
in order to take care of those kids.
Take care of those
Because, you
kids.
know, they have a life, even though she has her own money, she has a lifestyle, and she has to have a lifestyle for those kids, too. I think, why does it worry me? I don't know, but it bothers me.
Well, that's your bed you're lying, you know. You
Make
make
your
it up,
bed,
you're
you
lying
better
it,
lie
you
it.
know. But well, I'm hearing total silence over this part of the table.
Yeah.
I'll say that you're a public figure, but when it comes to your emotional, you have the right to choose whatever you want.
But then, do you have a right to go back into the community that you didn't pick a spouse from, and have them and lead that community?
Yes, you have a right to do
But-
that
but
because there's
then-
a profession
Yeah.
and then there's an emotional. There's
Yeah.
two departments. And if you like a beautiful white woman or you like a beautiful black woman, you should be able to choose.
And maybe
because-
that woman is not even in that community for him. You know, so
Well, it goes back to what I'm saying with the circle. They start to move in another circle,
And then
and that's
things
going to take
change.
them out. Yeah, things do change. You know what I mean?
things
But
change.
but
so.
you know,
De Blasio is my mayor. The mayor, he's married to
a black
a
woman.
real black woman.
Mhm.
You know, and that works.
It works very well.
It really
Well,
works.
some might say that in the black community, you could still see. I was having this discussion with somebody just the other day, and they said to me, "You could still see," because I was leading up to put this on the show, and they said I could still see black women doing it because a lot of them they're just not. We just can't find men out there that are comparable to us. You know, you know, really, like I said, the high incarceration rate.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of men being underemployed, and as a black woman of a certain age, and a certain place in life, it is hard for me to find a compatible male. So my kids have actually said to me, "Mom, you may have to go white."
Yeah, they say crossover. You know, they
Right.
do
They
say
say you may
that.
have to go white because I am someone as a black woman who is very intimidating to the average black man. I hate to say it. I mean, people used
You
to tell me.
are.
She used to tell me, and I used to kind of pull back from it. And I looked at it again, and I said, "It's not easy coming in and being Mr. Trish." You know what I mean? I already have certain things set up in place. I don't need you to pay my bills for me, and I don't need you to, you know, kind of hold my hand through life. I've been through enough things through life, and I kind of know to meander those environments. So it's a little intimidating for me to find black men that are comfortable with themselves. They think they are. You start dating them, and all of a sudden they start to cut down. And as soon as I say that, I'm out. Okay, you're not gonna cut me down in order for you to feel like a man.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
So.
That is true.
Oh.
And a lot of that is happening out there, and a lot of people take it, and a lot of people just don't take the bull, because I am one of them that would not take no nonsense from nobody, regardless to what they have and what I just wouldn't take the shit.
Share the
No.
shit.
Sorry.
Take the expletive.
Please.
Expletive.
So that's it.
Caroline, should we talk black and sleep white? Be honest.
I agree with I guess kind of with Amalfi. We may not like it, but why can't you? Who said if I'm out there and I'm an activist, and you have many of them who are black men, and they have
Women
spouses
are married
that
dark
are
cross
you know
race.
of a different color, it doesn't mean that you're less black or what you have to say or your message is less black just because you have a different spouse. Now, we may not like it because we always going to give a cross eye. How are you going to tell us all this, black power, black that, and who you lay next to is not black? But it doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to speak the way they feel or that we really should give a cross eye. You know?
And I had
That is
an
true.
experience when I went to college. That's what my first experience with the basketball team. Most of them were black, and they dated mostly white. And I don't think it was because she was. And I used to ask myself, why did they choose white? And I asked them, a couple of them. They said they just understand us better. And I was, wow.
Hell
No, you see things like
I don't even want to hear no foolish
That's
stuff like
where
that.
the power of the
That's a
thing
whole.
comes in.
Now you're gonna make
Because
me
they want
flip
somebody
over
who
because
they want to
that's a
control.
whole different thing.
That's-
I'm not talking about. We were talking about the person who I can speak out there and be for the black people no matter who I marry. This whole basketball thing and all of that. That's a whole different
comments like
story
that,
of why
that is-
they do those things that they do.
But
it's
it's
actually
control.
not.
It's all about
It's not even
control.
on the
It's
same
all
level.
about
They do it
control.
different. And if the answer is I deal with white women as a black man because they understand me, that
It's a bunch
I
of bull.
don't deal with
That's
that.
a bunch of
That's
bull.
disgusting,
and
and
I
it
asked-
is a bunch of bull because a black I can't even conceive of a white woman understanding the plight of a black man.
Right.
Maybe he meant this particular woman understands me emotionally, but they're not gonna never.
No, she
they
didn't
can
say it
never-
like that. She said they
No,
understand
I'm
us better.
saying, but maybe he meant it like that
Mhm.
because a white woman can never understand the plight of a black man more than a black woman can understand.
Well, that's what he told me.
Right,
Caroline.
that's what I'm saying. So maybe what he in his mind it was like this particular one, but if they're saying that if he meant it as all white women,
No,
that's
and
why I
he
date
didn't.
white because they understand me better. That's a bunch of bull
But
crap.
it wasn't one or two. It was mostly most of the basketball team.
Yeah, and
And,
there's
they
a
gave me,
whole nother
you know,
level with a lot of those
and
basketball
they-
players,
and-
and when they flip.
And
It's
most
a whole different
at
thing.
that time, this was college. They didn't have a penny. They didn't have any money.
But there's potential. And
There's
one thing some
potential,
women
yes.
could do is spell a potential.
Oh, yeah.
And anchor themselves right there. But like I
And
said,
in
when that
college,
divorce
they
comes,
go
we want free.
after many, and I'm sorry, it's my own opinion, but many times a lot of white women go after black men because they're athletes and
Yep.
because of their potential. All right, and black men are like, and a lot of them, they run after them. And black men like that feeling of
Oh,
having somebody
having
run
somebody
after
run
them.
after them.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
So-
chasing
Men in
them.
general.
Yeah, it's a whole different level. But there's no way. If I date an Asian man, how could I, as a black woman, understand the plight of this Asian man more than someone of his own race? I don't.
That's right.
Yeah, because there are cultural differences right
impossible.
there.
Yeah. I couldn't see that either. Like you said, if you have an individual white woman who understands you, fine. But as a general, that's a cop out to me. It's ridiculous.
To say,
Because
yeah,
there's
all
no
white
way-
women. I don't date
There's
black
no way
because
that, as you're
only
Latino,
these white
there's
people
no way that
understand
a
me.
black
Get outta
woman
here.
even could understand a Latino man like a Latino woman.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
have the same
fine.
experience. So individually, if somebody understand you better, fine. But making a general statement like that is definitely a cop out. But there are a lot of them who make that. And then when they get divorced and they're being taken to the cleaners, they want to come back into
They
that same
come back
community.
into the fold.
Yeah.
Now you want
Now they're looking
supportive
for
black
white
people.
black
Like
women.
really?
Definitely. Oh my lord!
Yeah.
I tell you, oh what a.
That could be like a whole, and that deviated from what you were saying, the question, but that's a whole big discussion because
Yeah.
Can't even get into. Forget it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know that one raises some.
Yeah,
Scary.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
he
a
would
hard one.
even he'd say that to you is just, and many of them, like you said,
Many of them
who've
it
said
was-
that
who
kind
said
of
that.
foolishness.
It wasn't even him, and I found that very interesting. I said because I like black guys, and said, why are they going? I wanted to find out. I was interested, and most of them that's what they told me. And I said, okay, I respect what. I couldn't say anything. I could, you know.
They tell you that they would never say that crap to me. They wouldn't even say that to their own mother, because I mean, you have a black mother, and you're gonna sit here and say, the white
But
women in general understand me better. Like, really? Where you grow up at? I raised you? What are you kidding?
They must be with them for a reason.
Yeah, there are reasons, but the reasons aren't always the things that you think. There are many reasons, but yeah, and that's as a black woman, I find that very offensive.
Offensive, yeah, and a lot of them say it.
I know.
You know, you're
And it's
black.
very
Your mother
offensive.
raised you. Your grandma probably helped raise you. You had sisters. You had girlfriends when you were not making a nickel. The minute that you get some fame, you know, this is what a lot of black women get upset with. The minute you get some fame, all of a sudden they don't understand.
Or you're popular, you're a basketball player.
basketball
Now
player.
you're popular, and all these women running after you behind, and you think that someone else can understand you more. I respect a person who can date all around. If that's your preference, date around. But if you say exclusively that I like white women and you're black, there's a problem.
There's a problem.
You have a problem.
Yeah. And it goes the same with white men too. If you're telling me you're
Yeah.
white, I had a guy who once approached me like that. He said he don't know what it is. He just like white women. I mean black women. And I told him exactly that. I said I think you have a problem. He said why do you have a problem? Because I said I just feel like if you like me, if you say you look at me, you met me, you jive with me, you know, fine. But if you're telling me that you have never dated anybody within your own race, and you make a concerted effort to do that, I think there's a problem.
There's an issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's okay. We all have preferences, but if you're black, if you're a Spanish person, if you're Latina, okay, and you never dated a black, or you know someone who's never dated a Latino man, and they exclusively stay away from their own, you don't think something's wrong with
I
that?
don't think so. No.
Mm,
They chose
well.
to go. They chose to date
Wow.
someone else.
Okay, well maybe
No.
maybe it's because it's black women we have a
Maybe,
whole
yeah.
different
Because
perspective.
it's happening a lot in our
Maybe,
community. I
maybe it
think.
happens a lot, and you're very affected. But if somebody chooses to date a black, white, Chinese, it's their preference.
And I agree with you, except when you do it exclusive and you say, I don't want a black woman, I'll date anybody else, and I don't want a black woman. That is a problem.
That is,
See, that's a
I
problem.
don't think that you should say
Right?
it that way. I
No,
don't
I'm
think, you
saying
know,
if this is what the person says, that is a problem. You got a black mother. What is your problem? That you wouldn't come near a black woman. You got a problem.
Yes, she's right.
Date around any way you.
Yeah.
I don't care if you
Date
date
whoever
black,
you want,
white,
but when
purple,
you make it
green,
that kind of
but
com-
if you make
yeah.
a comment that excludes your own, and you say I would not want to date anybody of my own race, then
You
there
have
is
a problem.
something
That is
wrong.
true.
Why?
We're not saying there's something wrong if you're black and you date somebody from another race. We're saying when you would say that you will not date a black person, which is a black woman brought you into this world.
But how about if
If I'm a white woman and you say you wouldn't date another white person, I'd be offended,
I'd be offended too. Yeah.
Well, I have a friend who is Hispanic or Latino, and he won't date a Latino.
That's offensive to Latino women.
I would be, and I asked him why, and he gave me different reasons. Did I understand? Do I agree with him 100%? No.
Right.
Do I understand him? Yes. He went through life experiences that changed the way he viewed Latino women.
But all women, Latino women are the same. They
But that's what he chose. He doesn't
he's
mean that it's
living there
right.
now. That's not
Yeah.
good.
No.
It's not good at all.
I'm not saying that it's right, but
Yeah, I know
I
what
think
you're saying,
a person
But
has
I'm saying that's not right.
the right to choose if they
Yeah,
want to
they
date
do,
Latino, if they want to date Asian, Black. They really don't have.
That's
to
fine,
I
but when you
have
make
right.
a comment, so
You
you
can
will
choose
never
anyone
date
you
your
want.
race.
Making
That's something
comments,
wrong there.
you
But
know?
then
Why-
why
why
is there
all
something wrong if
Latino
you have
women
gone through
in
life
one
experiences
circle?
that are not good?
But
You
then
have
that's
it
what's
being
wrong.
successful.
Then there's something behind that. You're staying it now. If they had a life experience, then there is something wrong. Something happened. There's some issue that made this person say, "I would never date anybody."
It's the
in my
same
race."
as
It
it's the
is
same as
something
a
wrong.
person who has a bad experience with a black person, a white person has a bad experience with a black person, and all of a sudden they become racist because all black people are this way or that way. That's
And,
not
and we
different.
look at that, we say that's not
That's
right.
not right. But this
not
isn't
right.
right.
There's
We're
a
not
problem
saying
with
anything is
that.
wrong with someone because here's what I'm saying. If you're out there, I said this age that I'm at, be happy, date happy.
Date anybody,
Date
you
anybody
want.
you want who make you happy. Don't limit yourself because I'm no longer going to be limiting myself. I said before that as a natural thing, I'm naturally attracted to black males. That is what I am comfortable with. I've just never dated anybody outside of the black race. But I would not say I'm cutting myself. I would never date somebody from outside the black race. No. However, I do find there's got to be a problem when you are a black person, or Asian person, or a Hispanic person, and you are a white person, and you will say that you will never date somebody of your own race. Not, I have a sort of preference. I kind of like.
But are you saying that the person has a problem or the person has gone through a life experience?
They have a damn
They got a problem,
They got a
and that problem might be the life
Life
experience.
experience, but they got a
But
problem.
there is a problem. There's
That's
an
not
issue.
normal.
Okay.
That's not normal because you may be a Latina, but you may say, I kind of like black guys, okay? But if you said to me, Amalfi, I would never date anybody who's Latino. I would say something
Like,
happened.
what is wrong with
Yeah.
you that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you might be attracted to black men, fine. So I think I think that's what people get, and you can see the passion that invoked right here. I think that's a problem that most of us in the black community have with these kind of situations where you grew up black, you get famous, all of a sudden you only could date of another race, and especially when it's of a majority race like what the white race,
or lighter.
and then people do get offended. I had, for instance, my well, I don't want to give away too much who I'm talking about, but someone in my family knew someone who's running for office, and he's married to someone from your country, Dominican Republic, with very light skin. And this person said to him, so we noticed that when he's doing certain things, he doesn't take out the person as much, and we're like, what's going on? And what somebody said to him was, there are a lot of people going to not vote for you because you got to squint to figure out what is she. Is she white? Is she? She's very light skinned. So yes, there are a lot of black people that probably would not vote for me because they're saying, okay, now she was looking a little darker, brown skin. They might not worry about that, but they're going to be looking at that to say, you want us to give you a vote, but you didn't come marry one of our daughters, or you didn't come marry my sister or somebody.
That's wrong too.
Right, and that is wrong. But I'm saying these things do happen. I'm glad we're bringing it to the table because these kids might have met in college. They like each other. Again,
They have a lot of
they
things
have
in
happiness, married
common
happiness.
besides the
Yeah.
skin color.
Right.
They have fun together.
Right.
They help each other. There's so many factors
Yeah.
beyond the skin color.
Yeah. But it does matter. I'm glad we discussed it. I said be with whoever makes you happy, but it should not mean you have to disrespect your race just to date somebody of another race. If somebody from another race is who bring you happiness, who respects you, loves you, and you want to be with that person, want to marry that person, be happy. Because at my stage in my life, this is what I'm going for is happiness. I don't care what race you come from. I don't care what part of the world you come from. If you are a decent human being and we get along and we feel we can make a relationship, that's where I'm going. But I don't have to say I would never date a black man. Oh, black men are no good. Oh, this and that, me, they're this, they don't understand me. That is another extreme which I have great problem with. All right, so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to our dear Hyacinth Harrison, who's a resident researcher about housing. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Visit Elias Restaurant, a unique Greek Caribbean fusion restaurant where the food is heavenly, the service divine, and the ambience mesmerizing. Enjoy bakes and saltfish, roti, jerk chicken, curry chicken, stewed chicken, stew fish, oxtail, curry goat, stewed turkey, pea soup, cow foot soup, sour beer, ginger beer, Slovakia dinners, clubhouse sandwiches, and so much more. Visit Elias Restaurant, located at 3310 King Street in Toronto, Canada.
I'm Trish.
I'm a mountain.
I'm Irma,
And I'm Caroline.
And we are the Caribbean House Talk. Welcome back to Caribbean House Talk, and in this special segment of the show, we have resident researcher, Miss Hyacinth Harrison. She's about to do something for us on housing. What say you, Lady H?
Okay, ladies, this is very important.
Mhm.
I know you all have your own homes, but you might, bring this message to somebody else. What you should know before you buy a house.
Mm.
And it's a lot to know, but I just sort of put it in a little summary here. First thing, you're gonna check your credit score. Avoid last minute bombshells by checking your scores long before you're ready. That means you're preparing yourself as you go along, right? And then you determine how much house you can afford and want to afford. Lenders look for a total debt load of no more than 43% of your gross income, which is called the debt to income ratio. Yeah. This includes your future mortgage and any other debts such as car loans, student loans, or revolving credit cards. Then you get yourself approved for a loan. You can go to a mortgage banker, or you can go to the bank you work with to get a pre-approval. Then you make a down payment plan. Most conventional mortgages require a 20% down payment. If you can do it, your loan costs will be much less and you'll get a better interest rate. If not, FHA offers loans with 3.5% down payment, but they require mortgage insurance premiums. As you're planning your financial strategy, keep in mind that banks like to see that you have had stable funds in your account for 60 to 90 days before applying for a loan. That's important. When you're comfortable, start preparing your documents. For example, W-2 forms, personal tax forms, recent pay stubs, bank statements, etc. Then you research your lenders or realtors. I'm a realtor, of course, so you can research me. You interview your realtor, which is important too. Specifically, buyer's agent who will assist you with finding that home. Your agent can be instrumental in finding a lender who is familiar with first-time home buyers programs. Even better, look for a mortgage broker who will shop for a comparative loan rate for you among multiple lenders. That's just it in a little shell, but that's the way to go. You have to get yourself together, then you get a pre-approval, because what happens is that you will want to come to get a house. Then you ask me to go to show you 6 houses, but you weren't pre-approved. I don't know how much you can afford, so the best thing to do is get a pre-approval. You can get it from a mortgage broker, or if you speak to a realtor, that realtor can take you to a mortgage broker. Those are the options you have. But especially now when real estate is changing by the minute, every day there's a different, set of rules that come down to us. So it's a very important document. Not because I am a realtor, but because people need to know. A lot of people don't know.
This is powerful intervention.
Yeah, it is.
So basically,
you know.
what you're saying, know your credit score way ahead of actually
Yeah, you keep
applying for
monitoring
mortgage.
yourself.
Make sure your finances are in place for 2 to 3 months
Yes.
prior to going out there, and then get a broker that is savvy in terms of what your needs are,
Yes.
and could really point in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that you're not in over your head in terms of getting a house that's so
yes,
expensive.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
You have to shop around.
With I guess you could probably be in car debt because that's probably like a good debt, right?
You can be in car debt.
You don't
but
want
you
any
know,
debt
as we
if
talked
possible,
about the
but-
ratio, so you have to be careful.
You have to-
You know how much your payments are because
Oh, yeah.
the mortgage brokers they do go into it with you, and they prepare you. I recommend a mortgage broker over just going to the bank. You know that you deal, but
And
you have your
you have
preference.
students, so I say this only because my daughter has student loans, but you know she's saved money and she wants to get a house. So just because you have student loans, it doesn't mean that that's not like bad debt either. You have to kind of be able to afford your debt.
So it really sounds like, this is not something to do lightly. I think this is what
No,
I'm-
especially in today's world.
Mhm.
It's not like years gone by when you had blights, you know, you could get over certain things. Everything is cut.
And it sounds also that what you're saying is make sure your debt to income ratio, how much money you make versus how much debt you have, should
Right.
get whatever,
Yeah.
40%.
Yeah, yes.
Otherwise, they don't want to touch you because you already have too much debt. Like it's going to be things
Right.
like your credit cards and your how much
Car
car
loan.
loans you have and other debt. Maybe you have furniture debts and so forth. So you got to think about these things. It's not just I want a house, I go get a house. You got
And you have to find a realtor who will really work with you, you know, go beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
who
know.
won't push you towards something that they know is going to be a failure down the road.
no,
Yeah.
no. And you can't really push that person because it's going to come back and haunt you and the realtor too because she won't get any referrals, you know. So, or he or she.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very interesting subject, I find. Not because I'm a realtor, but I just, you know, love the housing.
Well, you're a good person to discuss this because it's an industry that you know and understand. You know.
I try.
So I'm pretty sure it's something out there. I had this gentleman on one time who was doing something on refinancing. It wasn't quite this topic, but regarding housing refinancing. So you know, we try to bring things that most people out there could benefit from. Information they might want to know. It might be something. I'm sure there are many of our viewers who are considering this, and this is useful information for them to know. All right, so before we end, we're going to go into our news and notes section. And I wanted to just discuss something that's been in the news the past week. There's a gentleman in LA who was shot and killed in his grandmother's backyard, or his mother's backyard. I'm not sure if his grandmother's backyard. He was holding a cell phone, and the police said they thought it was a gun. And he was shot. He's 22 years of age. He was shot 20 times. And as someone who has...
No, the correction there. He wasn't shot 20 times. 20 shots were fired, but I think 7 or 8.
Yeah, it was I think 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
so
think
20
8,
shots fired and
yeah,
7 or
but
8 hit him.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 got into.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thanks for clarifying that, or correcting that. And it makes me, as a mother, a mother of a black son, wonder when is this going to end. We thought that in the event of cell phones and Facebook Live, that police officers would have, realized that murder don't hide, so to speak. That if you're out there doing stuff and abusing people and so forth, that somebody's gonna be filming you out there. But it doesn't seem like it has had an impact. It seemed like they're still brutalizing people, still shooting people for foolishness. I spoke with on another show where I saw this white suspect fought this police officer, kicked him, got away, sprint, running up. He didn't fire a shot. Nothing, did nothing. Let that be a black man or a young man that did that. I mean, I don't understand when is this going to die. And then, did I hear correctly when they said that the police officers now, they're arming them with cameras? They muted their cameras. So we couldn't even get from their camera what was going on. What is the point of giving them cameras? I don't like to even discuss this issue because this really, really heats me up. What is the point of giving them cameras when you give them the ability to mute it?
But I liked the idea of.
If they have nothing to hide, they're not going to mute that camera.
No, they shouldn't mute the camera. They had independent people look at what happened. The family did this past weekend here, and they found that it disputes what the police said.
All the time.
You know, and I mean, they're begging. Begging the people just to be calm in Sacramento, and they're being calm right now. But it's
gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up.
We don't know.
They've got to learn. They've got to train these police officers properly.
Properly.
One of the things I heard on the radio station, Steve Harvey. Anyway, it was mentioned by the radio personality that, and I hadn't even thought about it. He said, when they're trained, or anybody who uses a gun, go into the gun range, you have on this white paper a black target. Okay? Now, the thing about that, psychologically, anybody who's ever known anything about advertising and marketing, things are done to affect you psychologically. You know, I had a marketing class in college, and they said, on those commercials, when they show you a cup with ice, your mind automatically goes to sex. And we're like, how could that be? It's the psychological, it's the hidden stuff that they put in there. So psychologically, you're showing them this black target. And and they think black target, bad, dark, bad. And that probably has some effect on these people. Even something that simple, maybe even with the targets, they need to start, make them look like real people. Okay? We have the ability to do that now. Show the people as people, because all these things have an effect on the way people think and react. You know what I mean?
And again, that could have some contribution. But I still go back to the fact that police officers in this country, okay, many of whom, there are many police officers, the majority, are decent, law-abiding people.
Absolutely.
Who went into this job for the right reasons, and they're there to serve and protect. But you do have enough bad apples in there that has been getting away with this stuff for so long. And it's going to take the higher-ups, don't let them mute that camera. You can't give them something to protect against this. Because here's the thing, the police is out there really fighting bad guys, following procedures, right? And that camera is going to back them up. So why are they going to mute the camera if they don't know they're doing something wrong? And they've gotten away with it for so long that, and even when they try to do something to kind of squish, stem it, they're still leaving them a leeway. You can't do that. They should not have been able to mute that camera, because you can mute that camera. No, we have to go by what somebody else's camera pick up. Trust and just hope that there's a camera there. And I just feel like it's. When is it going to end? When is it going to end? I don't know. I'm very disheartened that I don't see it getting better.
Well, I question it. You just said something. You said there's so many good policemen out there, but I'm talking about the other percentage that go out there of white policemen. I wonder if they go with a personal vendetta, or that really bothers me. You don't know the reason why he goes out there. He says he sees something that looks like a gun. The man had his cell phone, I guess, trying to show that it's his cell phone, and he shoots the man. So I'm just wondering, it's in my head all the while. Is there sometimes a personal thing that triggers that, why they shoot? They all shoot that fast. I don't know.
Even
and what happened to why is it always shoot to kill? If nobody's shooting back at you, he's running.
Okay,
why
shoot him in
to
the
kill?
foot.
What they used to many years ago, you shoot in the arm, you taught to shoot in the leg. You're supposed to just get that suspect to drop. All you hear about now is like shoot to kill.
Or taser
foolishness.
Taser him.
For foolishness. For foolishness. It's not like they're coming at you with something for foolishness. And it just seems like if you're black or brown, that these police officers are not trained properly or have the right mindset of how to apprehend a suspect without trying to kill them. Even when, I don't even know with the young man, were they chasing him or they talk? I don't even know.
I don't know what
I'm
led
so
up to it because
thin right now.
I was away. I didn't hear the story
All
well.
I know, they were
but
looking for
Somebody.
for
Somebody
whatever
was
reason,
doing something in
and
the
then they
neighborhood.
happened to see this guy. He's running.
He run.
I mean,
and he ran.
they haven't even. I have not heard that he was the man that they were chasing.
I haven't heard that either,
Okay.
but you know, I'm not saying that I'm well versed in the whole of the story.
Exactly.
I have a brother who, my younger brother, we had just buried our dad. This was like 17, 18 years ago. And we just buried our dad. I think it was actually 19 years ago. And my brother was coming home from school, aiming to go to law school next. And they were looking for a burglar in the area. Thank God that he was close to his house. This police officer started running him down. Thankfully, he thought quick and he was home. Otherwise, we might have been get to see him become an attorney. And they ran him. He ran to the house and he started beating the door. So at that point, everybody in the house came out. You know what the police officer said? We were looking for a burglar. And here's my brother in his shirt and tie, coming from he went to school and then went to work. And you know what he said? He said, you should be glad we're trying to keep the neighborhood safe.
Mm-hmm.
I took my brother, took him into the police station to get some information who this police officer was, because I had another brother who a couple of days before was walking home, and this is like close to 20 years ago, walking home, and a police officer just stopped him in a very antagonistic type of way and started questioning him.
Yeah.
So there was that, and from the description of the car, it seems it was that same person. When I went to the police station, they did everything to cover up who that was.
Mm-hmm.
So they have had the police officers, the rogue police officers out there, are fostering in an environment that has covered up for them, protected them in communities of color where they could brutalize people. It is a shame that I am most scared of my black son coming face to face with an officer of the law than a crook. Because I teach him to stay out of certain bad neighborhood, be careful or such and such. There's no way to teach him how to be safe around the police office except to say, yes sir, and even then they sometimes think you're being smart or what have you. This is a shame.
Yeah.
White people see the police as protectors. We don't see you as protectors because we have a history of you brutalizing our people.
Yeah.
And that is a shame. If you got people out there, you need to get them off the street. Whether they're white, black, or whatever, do what you have to do. But it should not be in this biased kind of a way where you have police officers. The guy who killed those 7 black people in the charge, a white kid, they stopped to give him food.
Yeah.
Look at the one who shot up the school campus the other day, right? You know what? It took an hour. He was blending the crowd. Could have gone and killed more people. When they finished, they just tackled him down very peacefully. He's still alive. But you're killing black folks for foolishness. Something where you could just probably shot him in the leg. You're killing them for foolishness. And it's not getting better, and it has to stop because this is really a shame.
It is a shame the way it's happening, you know. I went to the 3-hour service yesterday, and there was one minister. She did the 7th word, and she's I think she's an Hispanic minister. And let me tell you, I was so proud of her when she got on that podium. You know, she was finished giving our word, and then she said to the congregation, she was saying, "It is finished." Do you remember that in the Bible? It is finished. And she said, "It is finished because one of my black brothers have been murdered. It has to be finished." You know, and she, I mean, our congregation just sat there, you know, because we realized that it touched us the way she said it, you know. Yeah, it was, and if it's reaching the podium now, you know.
This is becoming a common thing in our society. This is becoming a common thing in our society. I had a black lady who was married to a white man, and the white man did something stupid, and she called the police for him. She's black, he's white. When he came, the police attitude was, "You're a disgrace to your race," right? And they gave him a hard time for doing whatever he was doing, harassing the wife and what have you. but it was more of a you're a white man, you shouldn't be doing this. You're a disgrace to your race. There was another lady who is she was giving me a story, and she is Indian from the Caribbean, Indian descent, East Indian, and her husband is a black man, and he called the police because she broke in the house. And she actually told me this. She actually broke in because she was trying to get in. He wouldn't let her in, and she had moved out, and he called the police on her. When the police came, they turned around and gave the black guy such a hard time because it was a black guy, who called him, and it was the lady who had broken in the house. When she wasn't living anymore.
So there's bias.
So it's like they're biased whenever they come in contact with a black male in particular. They're very biased in how they approach something. When it's a white guy, it's like, you should know better than this, or a little pat on the back. Like, come on, man, shape up. Mm-hmm.
My son, the one that was here, he had to. He was working up in Connecticut. No, Westchester, someplace up there, temporarily, and he was driving a BMW, and apparently they were looking for someone in the neighborhood in the middle of the day. Burglaring.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to the gas station, and they all surrounded him, wanted to take him in because he fit
The description.
And that's the danger, because some of these people,
without
you probably
checking.
didn't listen.
You know how he got out? I mean, and
Oh my God.
he had to I always teach them to be calm.
Mm.
Just be calm and,
Yeah.
and don't fight, just be calm. And they had him drive to the precinct, and he tried to say, look, I'm on my lunch hour, I work at such and such a place. Finally, the captain decided to call his boss, and his boss said, yes, he works here. Or else, that guy would have been in jail, and I would...
You understand me? And the danger is, Lady H, is that a lot of these people are so narrow-minded when it comes to black people. We all look alike.
Right.
That's it.
So that's a danger right there. I'm looking for Bogler, he's a black man. Y'all look alike.
Automatically, you become a target,
Yes. Yes.
And they have to train these cops just
They don't.
a little
Well, it's not
more.
just training. Here's what I say. You got to put more color in those police force.
Yeah,
And
but
you have to have community policing. If you're coming into
Yeah.
Elmont, which is a predominantly people of color, have police officers of color. Go in the precinct down there and say there's one
you
black
telling
person in that
me?
precinct.
I know, I lived down there.
Would you have all black people in a precinct in a white neighborhood? Never happened.
But you'll get policemen of color who will do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting that.
Okay, let me give
I'm
you...
not doubting them, but it certainly would stem some of it.
Well,
Because here's why: when you are you're a number of officers, some are white, some are black, some are brown, right? You don't know which one of these ones are going to go squeal on you. Might be a little bit more guarded in how you follow procedures.
Here's this joke. And this is a funny one. I live in Elmont, and my house is at the corner, but there is a piece of land that belongs to the town. It's sort of empty, just where the cops come, sit, especially in the summer. I have a big tree, so it goes over, and they sit under the tree in the car. So my backyard is adjacent to this little property, and I'm in the backyard and I'm watering my plants, but honestly, I didn't notice that there was a police car sitting there. And this person sitting in the car, he opened his window. So I'm there watering the car and wet up the man.
Oh my God!
I watered the policeman.
That's it.
Turned out it was a black cop.
Ay.
He got out of the car wet.
Oh my God!
He flew around my gate and came in the backyard. That's it. He said to me, because I'm a black cop, you wet me up.
Oh my
Because
God!
black,
I
that's
said,
the-
sir,
have to do it.
honestly, I did not see you. And, I almost got on my knees to tell him because I thought he was going to take me in now, So I had to go get a towel and have him.
How did it end though?
It ended okay because he shook his head and he said, please turn the hose in it
Just bring
once you see the But honestly, you like, I'm in the days, I'm in my backyard, and I'm just watering. I'm not really looking, and the thing was going through the fence and wetting up. So I said, "Why do you have your window down?" He says, "Well, I'm taking air." I said, "Well, air, yeah,
It's
air."
From the other side or something.
You
Yeah.
know,
What's
but
in
you know,
there for anyway?
things happen, and that was the only black cop I saw. in
I
my
haven't seen
neighborhood
one
for a
yet
long
in
time.
my neighborhood. I haven't seen one. Not in this neighborhood anyway.
Well, then I
And
think
that right there, I don't care what you guys say. I'm not saying that means all them black ones are clean, because there's some of them that are
No,
messed too.
some of them are.
But I'm saying when you have a more mixed workforce, people would tend to have to be more guarded about what they do around each other, because you don't know if that black one or that Hispanic one is going to turn you in, or that white one is going to turn you in. But people, when they are among just themselves, tend to get more comfortable with certain things.
Yeah, but you can't. That's also. That doesn't fare well with job relations, and it's discriminatory if you put all black cops in black neighborhoods, all Spanish.
No,
cops
you
in
have to
all
mix
Spanish
No,
cops.
mix.
I think
Can't do that.
mix is fine, but you can't handpick who goes where. The whole thing stems from the main point: training. You gotta train these people properly.
I think training
That's the
training with a
thing.
more diverse workforce, the two things I think would help. I think both of them are very important components to helping to kind of stem this. I think training definitely, because you have police officers who are they're going to communities of color and they brutalize people, and they would do it with certain comfort that they know nothing is going to happen. And that's wrong. But they also, I think, I was in Brooklyn one day, and I saw a black cop. There was a black lady, old up to his mother, coming down the street, and they said something to each other, and he puts his hand around her, and he was just joking with her. I saw another black cop on Jamaica Avenue. He was joking with this older lady, and he was dancing with her. I said, you would never see white cops do that in neighborhoods of color.
I don't know, but people are people. But I say this because I was coming down the road, and I think I said this before. I was driving, and we came to the stop, and cars had to go around like another car. The police were off to the left side, stopping a car, and other cars had to go around. We're all creeping in on the highway very slow to turn off. And the black cop, when it came to my car, the freaking black cop was like, stop. Okay? And Porterfield's next to me, and I had Porterfield, my husband, do not say a word. Put your hands where you could see them. Don't say anything. Let me talk. Because the minute you talk, they're going to be ready to haul somebody in jail, or they may shoot. Okay? The guy might shoot you. So you keep quiet. The guy comes over, and his approach was so nasty. A black cop see me, little me, like I didn't do anything. I creeped slow like everybody else, but he had to stop me and talk to me really nasty and hostile, and I did everything. My husband was ready to say something. I was like, nope. Okay, don't say nothing. So it's not a matter of color. Yes, we know that it's more white shooting, whatever, but it's cop in general. Learn how to deal with people. Because just because you black cop don't make you, the nice cop either.
Oh no, and also a black cop is less likely to act like that towards a white woman, because guess what? If he does shoot or do something to that white woman or that white man, he is more likely to be convicted. When you see them convict them, a lot of times it's cops of color that are getting shot. So that cop of color is also having an issue here with this problem, where that they will literally have a attitude of, I could sort of get away with this because she's black, I'm black, I could talk to her any other way. Nobody's going to, if I shoot her, if I do whatever. So, anyhow, you look at it, it's the whole environment that's been created. Yes, it's training. Yes, it's community policing, changing of mentalities. You talk about the black target, these little things play a part. So, I don't know.
Change has got to come soon, because
It is.
enough is enough.
I have a teenage son, and I'm scared to death. There are times I want to take him and go back to where I'm from. I'm dead serious, because I don't want to be back there retired or wherever and hear that somebody shot him down for foolishness. And I don't know of a friend that I have who have sons that have not been harassed by the cops, black sons. Everybody that I know, practically, who's had black teenagers, they've been harassed, stopped in a very inappropriate way by the cops. So you
They
can't
search
tell
them
me.
too. Little kids. My son was playing with one of his friends up the block. They came around the corner and they searched the kids. They make them take the stuff from their pockets. Atiba had like $10 in his pocket. Where did you get that? Where you get that? And, asking him questions. We usually used to give them what you call it thing?
An allowance.
Allowance, and they would save. They used to like to save the money because they want to see who could have more than the other. And that's in between him and his other brother, Cam, the other one. And he had $10 that we had given to him for 2 weeks straight because we gave him $5 a week. So he saved up his money and he had it in his pocket. And he said, "This is allowance." He said, "How do you get allowance for $10? What did your mother work? What your mother do? What your father do? What other?" Yeah. So
They just need training. That's the summary. You know, a little more
They need a
training.
mental adjustment
Some of
too.
it's psychological,
Yeah.
how to deal with, each other. As
And I think there's a lot of the wrong people going into the police force with the wrong type of mentality. They like power, they like that sense of being in
Yeah.
control, as opposed to the good ones who go in and they really to serve and protect, and who would, and let's be honest and give them their due deserved share, if you will. You have police officers who go out and do a good job, and sometimes they're killed by these criminals out there. And so sometimes I think they get like trigger happy and nervous, and they overreact sometimes even in the worst situations. So yeah, I think training is the biggest one. I think community policing. I think dealing with some of those stereotypes and those triggers that people might be.
And how to be a compassionate person.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something you can be taught, but
Yeah, I don't know if you can teach somebody compassion.
I don't know.
it comes with age.
Hope something changes soon because it's very stressful to me.
Well, then you just say it has to get worse before it gets better.
Oh Lord, I don't want it to get any worse. Oh
It's
Lord,
really bad.
I feel like we're under siege.
It's bad.
Anyway,
Really bad.
all good things
Okay.
must come to an end. We've had an enjoyable show today, as always, and we're glad for you, the audience, that tune in time and time again to look at us and send us feedback and let us know how much you're enjoying the show. Again, you can contact us at QX TV. QX is spelled CUEX TV.com. It's on the screen below. And you can send us your suggestions and make your comments. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And if you use your comment, we'll be happy to send you some kind of a gift. We're going to surprise you. And if you might even, if your idea is a nice enough one, we might actually have you as a guest host on our show. Well, again, thanks you for tuning in to Caribbean House Talk and QX TV. And goodbye.
Goodbye.